It's been a while since I started releasing videos publicly, and one thing I can vouch for is that a skill you earn is never wasted. It doesn't matter what the skill was, so far you learned it and you took your time to learn the intricacies of it, it is never going to waste. I've been thinking about that for a while, and there's a certain kind of strength that comes from getting up to get things done, to change the narrative of how things are. It gives you a form of power, and it also puts you back in the driver's seat of your life. Or maybe that's just the way I see it. It could be different for you. About a month ago, because I'm not sure when I'm going to be releasing this video, about a month ago, I started working on my creativity again, right? My creative writing specifically, because I had been writing scripts, writing copies, but I've not been able to write stories. And I started my writing journey as a story writer. I would write books upon books. I have this collection of stories that I wrote when I was in secondary school, which I have not released. I don't know how many there are. There are probably about 10 or less than, but there is one that is publicly available, which is Life of Maker. There are also some on my Wattpad profile, but I'm not talking about them today. Now, writing creatively in terms of story writing became a struggle for me in a way that I wouldn't have wanted it to be, because I wish it wasn't a struggle. I wish I was able to pursue creative writing as an endeavor like I wanted to when I was younger, but I wasn't able to. The only way to change it wasn't by thinking about the way I used to write flash fiction when I was in uni. It was by getting up, realizing that this is a problem that I want to change, and bringing out my pen, my phone, my laptop, my papers, and saying, okay, it's time for me to change it, and actually performing the action required, which means I started writing again. I've mentioned it before that I started writing creatively again. I worked on a story. I was writing flash fiction initially, then I started writing a story unknown to me. I just started writing a novel out of the blue. I started a personal 21 days creative writing challenge, and by day 3 I found myself writing a novel, and I'm still writing it. I'm on day 17 now, and I'm still writing the novel. It has been difficult, very, very difficult for me. I cannot emphasize how difficult it has been for me, because it's like learning a language that you've forgotten. It's like learning to walk again after you've had an accident. That's the best way I can put it. It is difficult, and it should be a way for me to just give up on it, but I like having difficulties when I'm trying to achieve a goal. I like the friction that comes with a little bit, because it helps me work harder, and it helps me know that this thing that I'm working at is actually going to pay off in the long run. I started writing again, not because of clouds, not because of praise, but to prove to myself, to my younger self as well, that I still have writing in me and I can still create words from my head. And it's mostly because of my job lately. But you guys, if you work in marketing, I working in marketing is draining. It has been feeling more exhausting lately. I know that's the regular testimony of everybody who works a 9 to 5, yes, but it's the whole exhaustion that I face every single day after work, and unfulfillment with the way my life has been going, that triggered me to start this 21 days creative writing challenge, because I needed something that I could do on the side to let my mind off what I had experienced during the day and not lose my sanity in the process. So I needed an escape, which is writing. Writing had always been an escape, either writing or reading. The two of them had always been escapes for me, but I figured I could just go back to writing since I've been reading for a while. So there are 3 topics that I can talk about to make me feel alive: self-improvement, faith, and of course writing. The first two, self-improvement and faith, they came easy to me, or rather they've been easy to me. That's what I've been talking about for the majority of these past few years on my profile everywhere, as well as my faith, because I've been consistent at making effort towards them. I've been consistent at building the habits relating to them. But you see, writing, particularly story writing, I can't talk about it. I've not been able to talk about it because I have not been practicing it, and I don't want to be the kind of person that says things out of from the top of a high horse, not exactly experiencing it. So I just scrap that writing completely. But because I know that on this my creative journey, I need to talk about the things that I'm actually passionate about, that required me to get back to writing, which I am absolutely passionate about. Like I said, at the end of October, I started a 21-day creative writing challenge. It's personal, very personal. I've been posting screenshots of my work focus mode on Twitter, Threads, and Facebook, but I've not been posting the actual story because it is one thing to write, you cannot edit in the same day, and I needed to. What I usually do when I'm writing stories is that I would first of all pour out everything in my head. Then after writing it, I would go back after a few weeks or a few days to edit it. So yes, I'm writing every day, but I'm not sharing it publicly. Though I've shared the first two stories on Wattpad, you guys can check it out. The link will be in the description. So when I first started the challenge, the first day was tough. I was at work. It was during my lunch hour, and I figured since I wasn't going to get something to eat, I might as well just try to write something. Try to start the challenge because I didn't want to give myself the excuse of I will do it when I get home. I knew I wasn't going to do it when I get home. So I decided to use my lunch hour. And it was difficult trying to write the story. Same as the second day. The third day was even worse because that was when I realized that what I was writing could not be compressed into a flash fiction, and it had to be an extended story. And I decided that okay, I'll start writing a book then. I guess I'll start writing a book. So by the third day, I started writing a novel, and so I just went from can I still write to wow, I started writing a story. And it's amazing because okay, let me not sugarcoat it. It is tough. It has been tough. Every day feels like a battle because I'm coming back from work. I'm tired. I'm hungry. The only thing I want to do is lay down on the floor and take a nap, or get into my bed if I have the energy and take a nap. But I have to remember that I cannot take a nap because I have not written, and I cannot write because I have not eaten. It's just complicated. Sometimes I can get it done. Most times I can't get it done. So yes, it has been tough for me. Sometimes I ask myself, why did I even start? Who asked me? Who sent me a message? But because I know that this is the goal I set, and honestly, this rebuilding phase of my life is an apology, a deep, heartfelt apology to my younger self. That is why I just have to keep on growing. Because the skill that I cultivated when I was younger, from the age of 8, the skill I cultivated should not be wasting, should not be rotting, being dormant when I should be making it grow. And the only way I can make it grow is by going through this difficult phase of learning it all over again. So I want to meet my goals, and that means doing things the hard way. And over here, we appreciate the hard way of doing things. We come to terms with it, we embrace it, right? So here's the lesson that I've learned over the past months. It's almost 21 days. Today is day 17, like I said. So let me just say over the past months. First of all, you never know your true capacity until you try it again. When I read the stories that I wrote back when I was in uni or when I was in secondary school, I'm always like, wow, I was on crack, or I was on something. I was definitely on something, because the description, the precision, the skill that I had displayed in each of those stories, I don't have it now. And the best thing I can do for myself is to get back to that level of expertise, and you know what, get to the higher level as well, because writing is not a skill that you stay on one level forever. Like with every other skill, you get to the highest level that you think you can attain, then you just realize that you've gone higher. You keep on getting better and better. Second lesson is that mastery doesn't happen overnight. Like I said, I have not been writing stories for a very long time. I wrote Life of Baker the year after, I think the year I graduated secondary school, and I finished it the year I entered uni, right? Well, that was the first draft. The second draft was what I released, I think in 2020. I can't even remember the years. Then there's First Valentine, which is the sequel to Life of Baker, which I have not released. Now, it's been a long time since I wrote a novel. I've written Life of Baker, I've written Worst Nightmare, I've written Iriolami, I have written First Valentine. The first three are out in the public, but First Valentine itself has not been released because Life of Baker doesn't have as much traction that I want it to have. So I know that back then I was a bomb writer. I was good at writing. Right, stories were flowing in my head. imagination was going wild. But over the years, like I said in the first edition of my Creative Pursuit series, university sucked and drained my creativity from me. So obviously, when I started this creative writing challenge, I knew that I was going back to a novice level, and I cannot become an expert overnight. So I'm going through all the process of learning to become an expert, of trying to get good at my crafts, and I'm taking the process, taking these steps with grace, admitting to myself that I learned this thing, I let it go, but now it's time for me to relearn it and hold tight to it. The third lesson is, once you've left the novice stage, you cannot go back to being a novice. It's just like when I started releasing videos publicly. I didn't know a thing out of video editing. I have never taken a course from video editing. Even up to now, I'm still not good at video editing. I am still a novice at video editing because I'm using my phone to edit. But there are some things that I have learned from these tiny things that I've been doing as a video editor, that I cannot go back and say I don't know how to do it, because I have learned a particular trick and that's it. You cannot go back to not knowing the trick again. Once you make progress forward, you keep on making progress forward. That's the same thing in my writing. I have found myself facing a huge wall when it comes to how to approach the next thing, and once I scale that wall, that's the end for me. That's how it has been going for me this past 21 days. You can never go back to being a total novice either. And in addition to the fact that I was not a novice, because by the time I stopped, so I cannot go back to being a total novice as well. The next lesson I learned is that once you've earned a skill, that's it. I said it before, a skill earned is never wasted. Once you learn something, it's kind of hard to relearn it, right? But it's not impossible. But when it comes to this skill that I'm trying to build again, once I learned it, it stays in me. I've also gone back on Pinterest to be looking at the graphic that used to motivate me, used to inspire me, and used to help me through. I've been going back to Pinterest, learning it. So it has been tough. At the same time, it has been a great journey that I am really grateful to be embarking on, to be honest. And another thing I need you guys to know, that a skill might be dormant. My writing skill, my creative writing skill was dormant, but it's not gone. I still have it in me. I just need to figure out how to unlock it, which is difficult because today is day 17. I've not made as much progress that I would have loved to have made, but at the same time, I've made much more than I thought I should have. I honestly didn't think I would make it to day 17. I didn't think I was going to be able to finish this creative writing challenge in the first place, even though I've still not finished. But the fact that I made it to day 17, it tells a lot for me. So yes, writing has also changed how I see the world. Before, when I'm in a bus and I'm sitting or listening to people, I would take note of the conversations that they're having. That was when I was still writing consistently. But lately, I couldn't do that. Yeah. But starting writing all over again has changed how I see things. It has also changed the way I read. So now I read as a writer and not as a reader. It's very complicated to try to explain that thing, but the way writers read a novel is different from the way readers read, because readers are reading for pure entertainment. We writers, we are reading to learn, and particularly me, because I've not been through an editor's table before. So whenever I'm holding a book in my hand, I believe that this person has gone through an editor and I can learn from their writing style, their sentences, their paragraph structure, their chapter structure, their characters growth, every single thing I can learn from them. So I don't read books as a reader, I read as a writer. I notice sentences, I take everything to heart, internalize them, try to make sense of it, craft it in my head, and just try to make everything beautiful once again. It's like falling in love all over again. It's like falling in love all over again, and not just shallow love, like deeply in love. That's how it feels to me. Being out of practice doesn't make you incompetent with what you are doing. It just means that you need a little bit more push to get back to where you were supposed to be. A dormant skill doesn't mean it is dead. It doesn't mean it is wasted. You just need spark. It's like when you are looking at a fireplace and the fire is burning out. All you have to do is add a little bit more wood and the fire starts burning again. that's how it is with my writing, and it's also a little bit how it is with spirituality, but that's not for today. Practice makes perfect, you guys. Practice makes perfect. I cannot emphasize it enough, I cannot explain it enough, but practice makes perfect. Constant practice that I've been going through has made me better than I was before, and it's only a little bit, it's only going to take a little bit time before you remember exactly who you were and you get back to being who you were. So please, if you are scared to return to a skill, if you are scared to start writing, or let's say you are scared to go back to something you were learning before, out of the fear of what if you're not good at it again, and what if you've totally lost it, let my story motivate you and inspire you to know that you did not lose it. You've not lost your skill. It is there in you, and it's in your best interest to try to work on it again. Just jog your memories, flex your creative muscles, try to get your juices flowing, try to remember the things that you used to do back then that would made your skill much feel like a hobby and less than a skill, right? And try to do those things. If, let's say, if you found it easier to edit your videos after you've gone on a run, you should try doing that, and maybe you can try editing your videos and see how it goes. So give yourself grace, give yourself time. You find your rhythm again, you find the process, you find your groove, you get yourself back into the flow state. All you have to do is be patient, because it takes time. And please, being a novice is important. You have to start again from the beginning. So starting again from the beginning is just important if you want to attain the height that you want to attain and to surpass it as well.